Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered how much power really lies behind the scenes of global sports organizations? Because right now, we're witnessing a seismic shift in the world of football governance, and it's shaking up the entire system. Gianni Infantino, the FIFA president, is facing a reckoning that goes way beyond a typical leadership crisis. This isn't just about a man losing his job. It's about the very soul of international football being put under a microscope. And what's fascinating is how this unfolds not through a dramatic scandal, but through a calculated move that exposed deep fractures in the organization's credibility. Here's the thing. Infantino's plan to sell off stakes in the World Cup was never about money. It was about control. Selling 20% of a new commercial entity to private investors? That's not just a financial decision. It's a power play. But the backlash was immediate and brutal. Why? Because when you start talking about selling off the family silver, you're not just redistributing wealth. You're undermining the very foundation of trust that FIFA has tried to rebuild after years of corruption scandals. And let's be honest, the public doesn't care about the technicalities of financial models. They care about whether their money is being used to grow the game or line pockets. Now, UEFA's response is textbook political maneuvering. They're not just criticizing Infantino. They're positioning themselves as the moral authority in football. Their statement drips with the language of accountability, but beneath the surface, this is about reshaping the power dynamics. When they say secret schemes and faceless individuals, they're not just calling out a policy. They're painting a narrative that Infantino is out of touch, that his leadership has become a liability. And here's the kicker. UEFA isn't just a regional body anymore. They become a de facto watchdog of global football, and this moment is a turning point for their influence. But let's talk about the real chess game here. If Infantino is now facing a potential challenger, who could possibly unseat him? The names being floated, Nasser Al-Khelaifi, Victor Montagliani, Salman Al-Khalifa, aren't just random candidates. They represent different factions within football's power structure. Al-Khelaifi, for instance, is a man who understands the balance between European dominance and global interests. His reluctance to run might say more about the internal politics of European clubs than his own ambitions. Meanwhile, Montagliani and Al-Khalifa bring regional perspectives that could reshape FIFA's priorities if they gain traction. And then there's the financial distribution issue. The FIFA Forward program has always been a lightning rod. Giving $8 million to every member association every 4 years sounds noble. But in reality, it's a system that rewards loyalty over merit. When Infantino proposed increasing that to $20 million by selling off assets, it wasn't just about more money. It was about creating a dependency that would keep him in power. But UEFA's push to overhaul this system is a direct challenge to that model. They're saying, we don't need to sell the family silver to fund the game. We can use the money we already have to invest in grassroots development. That's not just a policy shift, it's a philosophical one. What this all suggests is that the future of football governance isn't just about who sits in the top chair. It's about redefining what that chair represents. Infantino's leadership has been defined by a vision of modernization, but at what cost? The backlash against his sell-off plan isn't just about money. It's about the erosion of trust. And trust, once lost, is incredibly hard to regain. If UEFA and other confederations succeed in forcing a structural overhaul of FIFA, we might be looking at a new era where transparency and accountability aren't just buzzwords, but the bedrock of the organization. But here's the question that keeps me up at night. Will this crisis lead to genuine reform? Or will it just be another cycle of power struggles dressed up as progress?